Guys, welcome back to the FanDuel and DraftKings value plays for today, which is December 2nd, 2016. Today we're looking at a 9-game slate, which is kind of right in my wheelhouse. I really like these slates more than the really small ones and the super huge ones. It just seems to make building lineups a little bit more challenging, but also more flexible. So let's see here. We got a 9-game slate, and there's plenty of injuries it looks like that we still need to keep track of. A few guys I listed in this post actually are kind of dependent on injuries tonight. So be sure to keep an eye on that. It's very early here. We don't have Vegas lines yet, but I really kind of had no choice but to try to do this now before work this morning. So hopefully this will help at some point to at least get you started, and then you can look forward to the written post coming up later on in the day here. Hopefully with some updates, and Vegas lines will make some changes, but not too many. So these are kind of the guys I'm looking at for now. And at point guard, we got Rajon Rondo. The Bulls are going against the Cavaliers, who have been nothing but kind of disappointing flat the last couple nights. Guys like LeBron James, who I used rather heavily. I'm sure a lot of other people did as well last night. Just disappointed for a second night in a row. So tonight, who knows how they're going to come out, if they're going to come out guns a-blazing, or if it's going to be kind of some lag because of the back-to-back effect. You never know. But either way, Rajon Rondo, he hasn't scored less than 31 FanDuel points over his last 5 games. And he actually has put up 35 twice in the same span. So Rondo's really on the rise here, and his price hasn't quite caught up to him yet with his output. He's only 5,900 on FanDuel. There's no line yet. Like I said, the Cavs are actually 15th in DVP against the point, and they're allowing 58.7. So Rondo should have a pretty nice night, and what should be a pretty good back and forth game here. He's been playing 34 minutes or more as well over his last 5 games with a usage rate of 15.27. So Rondo is in a good spot and still at that kind of borderline, really dirt cheap value price for his production. He's projected for 33.66 FanDuel points tonight. So I'm really liking Rondo tonight as one of my kind of higher end value picks. Another option is Sergio Rodriguez, the Sixers. This is the injury one. If there's injuries in play here, Rodriguez should see a nice bump in minutes, and I think that almost makes him a lock at 4,500 on FanDuel. He has a nice usage rate as well of 17.59, and even in 28 minutes over his last 2 games, he's put up 26.9 and 25.1 FanDuel points. So right around just under a fantasy point a minute. So if those minutes get a boost up to the 30s, 32s, I'm really liking Rodriguez at this price, and I think he's going to be actually probably rather chalky if the injury news comes out early enough. So Rodriguez, 4,500 on FanDuel. We have him projected at 29.58 points tonight, fantasy points. So liking Rondo and Rodriguez at the point. Shooting guard, dirt cheap Danny Green. I'm not too fond of having this one in there right now, but he's just always risky. And to be honest, he's one of the guys I rarely ever play. I think I've used him maybe twice, and it always seems to backfire. But today I have him in here. He's 3,900 at FanDuel, 4,100 on DraftKings. You can just hope after he's had 4 really rough-looking games over his last 4. But right before that, he had a really nice stretch where he was scoring over 28 FanDuel points. And the main thing is his minute uptick. He's projected for a nice minutes bump tonight. And that's kind of where I'm thinking Danny Green may be in play here, especially at this price. And if you're looking to kind of punt a shooting guard position, 22nd ranked DVP Wizards, Brad Bill, and the boys tend to give up some points to the shooting guard. So you just never know. Danny Green with the minutes uptick could do some real damage and finally turn stuff around and be a really sneaky play as well, especially in GPP. So Danny Green, 3,900 on FanDuel, 4,100 on DraftKings. and he's projected for 29.52 DK points. So maybe have a look at him if you're a risk taker or bold. JJ Redick, I'm having him on there as well. For the Clippers, they're in New Orleans tonight. He's 4,300 on FanDuel, 4,700 on DraftKings. So he's significantly more than Green was, but probably a much safer play. His usage rate's pretty high. It's 23 in the Clippers offense, and his shots are dropping. So when that happens, Redick can really fill a stat sheet quick. Over his last 4 games, he's produced 22 FanDuel points, and he had 1 monster clunker in those 4 games of 5.9 games. So the risk is always there if a shot is off or if it's a blowout, that sort of thing. Redick may not be as productive, but overall he's averaging 19.7 FanDuel points on the season. That's pretty safe. And tonight he gets a team with a very good DVP of 3. So defensively there's risk of being shut down, but with so many other weapons in the Clippers, Redick should be getting and seeing some nice open jumpers, and that's kind of the key when it comes to him. He's projected for 24.2 FanDuel points tonight. So yeah, at 4,300, I like that. That's right under a 6x with a higher ceiling, especially if that 3-point shot is dropping. So small forward, I'm looking at Jay Crowder, the Celtics. The last 2 games, Crowder's minutes have really gone up, and so has his fantasy production. He's put up 30-plus FanDuel points over his last 3, and he's playing in 30 minutes a game now. So Crowder can really do it all. His usage rate's 18, which is pretty good, and I really like his spot tonight in Sacramento, who's 22nd ranked against the small forward position. So I think Crowder's going to have a really nice game tonight. 5,300 on FanDuel, and he's projected for 30.45 FanDuel points. The other guy I'm looking at, and I've been playing him a ton lately, is Brandon Ingram of the Lakers. They're in Toronto tonight. He's 4,000 on FanDuel and 4,400 on DK. So cost-wise, the value's there. It's got his cost has gone up a little bit since his production's been so good, but he's put up over 20 FanDuel points over his last 4, and 24 of FanDuel points in that same span. So he's been playing pretty good, averaging about a point a minute. Ingram's still cheap on both sites, and with the minute bump with the injuries to Russell and others in the Lakers team, he's kind of forced into playing time, which is a good thing. His usage rate's 15.46, and he's going against one of the better defensive teams in Toronto tonight. But if he plays 33 minutes or so, he can come close or exceed a 6x value tonight. So I really like that. So 4,400 on DraftKings, and he's projected for 26 DraftKings points tonight. At the power forward position, I'm looking at good old Ersan Ilyasova, another Sixer versus Orlando. 4,700 on DraftKings. Ersan's minutes have been all over the map and kind of hard to track, but when he's on the court, his usage rate's pretty nice. It's 21.14, and he's averaging just under a fantasy point a minute at 0.96. Tonight, we have him projected at 27 minutes of playtime, so that's right around 25, 26 points. The Magic actually ranked really bad in DVP, 26 against the power forward, so Illy can eat tonight, and I think at that price it's reasonable, especially if you're looking for a value play at the power forward position. We have him projected at 25.9 DraftKings points tonight, so something to consider there. At the center, yet another Sixer, Joel Embiid, 6,200 and 6,700 on DraftKings. Embiid's going to essentially be a lock across the board tonight. The price is just too low, especially on FanDuel. DraftKings, it's a little higher, where you could be looking at some other options to pivot off of if you want, but you really can't go wrong with Embiid. I have a lot of Sixers in here today, so just beware. I'm not suggesting to play them all tonight. I mean, if you want to, you're a very bold soul, but I just think they have a lot of pretty good options tonight to kind of help round out some rosters and values. So again, I'm not saying play all the Sixers tonight. I guess you could really try a contrarian stack, but I'm I'm thinking mostly one or two of them can help round out rosters, especially Rodriguez and Embiid. So, anyways, back to Embiid. He's about as safe and productive as they come. He should play 28 minutes or so, and even if he doesn't, his usage rate's 36.99. You know, only a few guys have higher usage rates. Guys like Westy and Cousins, for example. You know, those guys are massive and huge superstars, but Embiid's getting the same amount of volume, and his production level has been there all season. So the Magic, very, very rough against the center. 27th in DVP, so Embiid should have no problem scoring tonight in however many minutes they use. If he happens to play 28 or more minutes, he's going to do some real damage tonight. So again, he's a very popular play, so don't think you're going to be tricking anyone or sneaky by putting him in. He's going to be heavily owned, but on that same standpoint, you don't want to miss out on it either. So I'm fine with having Embiid in almost all my lineups tonight. Maybe pivot off of them a few in GPP just to be different. But what you are getting with him is a near lock for 4x value and a much, much higher ceiling. So tonight we have him projected at 32.5 FanDuel points and 35.6 on DraftKings. And again, that's with his minute limit. So it's pretty good, and expect good things from him tonight. If you are looking to pivot, you could consider a guy like Clint Capella or Vucevic tonight on DraftKings if you're a little worried about the price bump on Embiid tonight. On FanDuel, I think he's an absolute lock, but on DraftKings, if you wanted to go a different route, Vucevic at 5,700 is a really nice option as well. He's been playing very well lately. So with that, I will let you go. Wish you all luck. And stay tuned for the written post, like I said, coming out later. That should have a little bit more juice and thick information along with Vegas lines and whatnot. But until then, I hope this helps you get started, and we will talk to you later.